Today we're going to take a look at the all-new Festool TS 55R. This is the new TS 55R by Festool. It's very similar to the old TS 55, and there's a couple of refined features of this. So here is the new one, and here is the old one. So you can see size-wise, they're very much the same. This one's shinier and fancier. The tool blade is stored in the same spot. This one's very stiff because it's still brandy new. You can see there's a dual scale and there's a single scale. So this can be read on the rail and off the rail. It's in metric, but we got a surprise for you in a little bit. We can see the scale, the bevel scale is much larger on this one. I find it a little easier to read. I do like the green cursor on the old one, as opposed to this just block host cursor. It's a little harder to see, but the scale is larger and it actually bevels to -1 to 47 degrees, as this just goes from 0 to 45. So it's another nice feature. Spin them. The cam guides to track it on your track saw are on the same spot. Fast fix, trigger, variable speed, all again same spot. Everything is the same with the motor. Dust port, same spot. Knob to release the bevel, but this actually pulls out so that you can do your 47 degrees and your -1 degree. One of the other features that's going to be a little harder to notice is this is actually a lot flusher than this one, where the blade is to the outside. So you can get a much closer cut with the new 55R to a wall if you were just to be doing like running your saw around the room. After you laid a laminate or a floating floor, you can run it all the way and run this right against the floor and get a much closer cut than you would with this one. Another neat thing that this one has is this has the fast fix like the new one. This is the old one. It fast fix and locks so you can change the blade, and it locks the arbor. The new one has an improved riving knife, which we'll show you, and it also has 2 settings as opposed to the one this one has. So we can lower it all the way down, flip the fast fix up, we can lock it down. So this is nice for if you're resetting it to, you know, you made a cut and you want to reset the blade on there, or you want to check your blade to the guide rail, different features where you need the blade to be down further. This is a nice feature. And also you can flip it up and flip it and then lock it down into the second setting, which is very similar to that one. You can see how much bigger this riving knife is on the R than the old one. The old one, if you notice, when we get rid of this fast fix, you'll notice on this, when we go to plunge the saw down, the riving knife comes down much faster and quicker than the blade. So it's down a lot safer if you're doing plunges. And this one comes down almost at the same time. So that's another little feature that the new one has. It seems to have a smarter riving knife. Now for my favorite part of it all is this is all metric. Now, I'm waiting for a little while to do this because I want to do it on video. Your owner's manual, flip through here. Sometimes it's hidden. I found it in the back page. There's a sticker. It can be reapplied over top of this metric guide and now change it all to imperial. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on there. Alright, so we got the sticker. I've been holding off on it for so long because I wanted to do it on this camera. It's been driving me crazy, and now I hope I don't mess it up. So I figured out the best way that I'm thinking is to slide the scale all the way down. Tuck it underneath here, I was kind of thinking maybe, or something, and then just kind of line up that 0 mark with this new 0 mark. So I'm gonna leave a little tiny fuzz of this old marking showing and line it right up. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect because you're not going for that type of a work, and we'll tuck it underneath here. Slide this down. It seems to be working. We'll see. Hopefully we can slide this up past this. Yeah, worked out pretty well, seeming to work out well. We'll slide it down. And there it is. So there's 0 all the way down. So that's pretty cool. Another cool feature about the saw, the new one versus the old one, are the Splinter Guards. I redid them. This is the Splinter Guard for the old saw. So it was 2 pieces. It involved a nut and the Splinter Guard. And you would slip it in like so and set it down and clamp it, you know, put it on the guide rail. We're not going to go into all that, and then tighten it down. And I marked this one was for when I was doing 27mm depth cuts. So that's a cool feature, but when you're doing bevels, you can't use this thing, because when you bevel it, it hits. Notice how the plate's off. It lowers back down. So the new one actually has a clear plastic window, which helps with dust improvement. So when you're not using that, you keep this in there and you get a lot better dust removal. So that'll come out. And they have a new improvised version. This just slips in, goes all the way up. No more fussing with it, and then we would set it to our material and clamp it down. And again, cut, you know, set, and then I wrote on this one's for 20mm. And when you bevel with this, and you have it on your guide rail, it's not going to lift it up. You can do bevels with this. So it's really nice how they thought of that. It's underneath, it's hidden. So that's a really cool feature, and the added dust improvement is a great help. So let's fire it up and throw it to a couple test cuts. Alright, so now we put the new sticker on. We're going to cut this piece of 3/4 plywood, but before we'll see the 2 scales, the FS scale and the plain unmarked scale. The FS scale is for when it's, so this side of your tape is going to be for when you're using the guide rail. It already takes into account the thickness of the guide rail. This is going to be without it. And to just check that out, what we're going to do is we're going to lower this down to 3/4. So we're 3/4. We're on 3/4 plywood. And good, we're touching. And if you notice here, there's a black knob, which is also different. That's a micro adjust. So you can finely tune it in to get a little deeper of a cut or a little shallower of a cut. So you can, I don't really know why, I would always kind of go a little bit fuzz deeper, but if you ever need to and you want to just score, leave a little bit of veneer, you can fine micro adjust it with this black knob up here. So we're set to 3/4, but we're going to use the guide rail, so we're going to drop it down and we're going to add another little spot, another little 1/8 just for depth. Let's double check everything. So here it is sitting on the guide rail with the plywood. And let's just check our depth. Tuck this underneath a little. We're perfect. We're not going to cut anything deeper than our than through our table. Everything's set up nice and perfect. So we'll put this piece of plywood in. Grab our back and our plug-it cord. All our knobs are tightened down from when we were messing around with it. We'll put in our hose. We'll put in our cable. Twist it on, and now we're set. So let's fire it up. And we're already tight to our rail. So if you've ever done that before, these knobs are loose. See all that play? Never want to grab it from up here. Always grab it from the base. And tighten it down where that rocking is gone, but yet it still slides smooth. So we'll loosen that up just a fuzz. Slides nice and smooth. No rocking. So we're ready. We're up tight. Let's give it a cut. That was smooth. Nice smooth cut. Perfect. No dust. Ready? very little dust, a little spurt out at the end. So that's really nice. And unplug our plug-it cable. And let's do a splinter-free cut. This was a pretty good cut, but let's go against the grain and try to do a little splinter, get some splinters. Let's do a little test first. Let me show you. It's a new blade, so granted it's going to be probably pretty good, but let's try it without it. So if you see, we got some splinters here. We have no splinters here because we had this little clear plastic strip keeping the veneer from wanting to flake up. So let's scooch it past, twist off our plug-it cable, and let's set it up for use with this. Alright, so we're all set up. It's on our rail. We got it unplugged. And we want to adjust our splinter guard. So this is a nice freshie. We're still set to the same depth. We got our material over. We're going to make sure that this is down tight and lock it down. And now I would take the time to mark that I'm going to be at 3/4. So I know that this one's 3/4. I throw it in my box every time I'm doing 3/4, and I can throw that same one on and get good results. So we're all hooked up. We'll twist the plug-it cable on, and we'll give it a fired up test shot. So, as you can see, with the splinter guard, without the splinter guard. So much cleaner cut with the splinter guard. Another great feature with this saw. And like I said, you can even bevel with it now. So let's just do a quick bevel. And we can even bevel with it, like I said. And now it's not even interfering. We're not lifted up, we're tight onto our plate. You can go more. So really nice. I don't have to keep pulling that thing off again. And like we were kind of going over before, the 47 degrees, you would just go to there. We're at 45. Green pin on the back, pop it, go to 47. Pop it back in, we're at 45. Pull the pin out, we can go to -1. Beautiful. So that was a look at the all-new TS55R. It's got a lot of nice new features that the old one didn't have. Would I go out and get rid of my 55 that I have? Probably not. I wanted a second one I can keep in here when I'm doing stuff, one I have on the road. So for me it makes sense to have it. If you're out of warranty, you know, you could justify it if you want to upgrade yourself. But overall, I think it's a really good saw. I'm very happy with it. I love a lot of the new features, the dust, the clear splinter guard. You know, for me, it made sense to get it.